Shining in the street lights, you know that we own this. Building up the tension, flexing like we own.
Hello there, and you're all very welcome to the 6th round of the Enduro World Series 2017. We've hopped across the Atlantic for the first of 2 North American rounds as the season veers inexorably towards the business end of things.
What you make of it, I'm gonna let go.
The time has now come to ride the oh-so-delicate tightrope between risk and reward. This is the Yeti Cycles Big Mountain Enduro 2017 presented by Shimano. This is the hunt for the world's fastest mountain bike racer. And this is round 6 of the Enduro World Series 2017.
This stage is really short and really fast, more slippery. Yeah, way grippier than I thought it was going to be, so I'd love to have that one again and just go for it, but you'll see. Okay, I think this weekend and next weekend will be pretty huge for me. I think Adrian will be really strong in finale, so plan a bit of catch up in the points and see how we go these next 2 rounds.
With the overall clearly in his crosshairs, Sam Hill set about putting himself firmly in the driver's seat right from the very first stage. The high-speed nature of Aspen Snowmass saw the big men come to the fore, with Jared Graves, Martin Mays and Richie Rood all in close contention. In the women's race, Cecile Ravenel could only manage a third behind Adrienne Lanfey-Nadeau and the stage winner Isabeau Courdurier. Now, as keen spotters of US ski resorts amongst you will have probably worked out, we are in the beautiful Colorado Rockies, which means only one thing in enduro racing terms: we're in Aspen Snowmass. Some of this weekend stages will take place at over 2,500 metres above sea level, which is enough to literally take your breath away. Now, we've got 2 days of racing this weekend over 6 stages, and they're some of the longest and fastest on the calendar. They're all based in and around Snowmass Village and Aspen itself. But before we get into that, let's just catch up with what happened last time out in Millau, France. Well, much to the locals' delight, it was definitely a case of Vive la France and some of the wettest and most challenging stages we've seen so far this year. The Enduro World Series reaches the 2/3 complete point this weekend, and with that the championship is well and truly ablaze in both categories.
But you wanna listen to your mind, all that fear, just deep in some part of you that tells you the deal. Still you unlock it.
Next up for the racers was just a small matter of a 2.5-hour transition over to Aspen.
I'm going too fast and I cannot see adrenaline high. It's a head rush.
I had a little crash in the steep corners, so I'm just gonna try to stay calm and finish the day okay.
I'm dancing on fire, spinning out of control, and I'm leaving this town with a head rush. Will you come with me? Leave it all behind. We can take it to the limit for a head rush. Take me to the limit. Take me to the limit.
It's already hard, much harder when you lost some air in the tire.
Take me to the limit.
Pretty slow, to be honest. Yeah, I just wasn't carrying speed. Sam was quite close to it to finish, so hopefully he just killed it and I'm not too bad.
The second stage of the day was a 5-mile long monster, and that monster was duly slain by a rejuvenated Richie Rude. 2017 has been a mixed bag for last year's champion, and finally he was starting to look like himself again. He won the stage by 10 seconds to move into the overall lead. Any hope the women's field may have had of getting the better of Cécile Ravenel quickly faded as she took the victory on 2 by nearly 24 seconds.
Oh, you know, I just completely threw it away. I crashed twice on that last stage.
It feels good to be back in the top 5 again and leading. Had a real big moment up on that stage and still happy to get decent time.
The whole day's been way better. Fixed a lot of mistakes I made last year.
Rain did wonders for the trails, so yeah, stoked on that. Yeah, stoked to be back racing enduros.
The final stage of the day went to the American Mitch Ropolato, who pipped Sam Hill to the line by just a 1/10 of a second. Yet his Cody Kelly was in third. Richie Rude now had an 8-second lead ahead of Hill, who led Martin Mays by just 1600ths of a second after 68 kilometres of racing. Scotland's Katie Winton rounded off an impressive day with a second place in stage 3, just ahead of Isabeau Corderia, while Cécile Ravenel marched on with stage win number 2. That secured a lead of over 30 seconds at the end of day 1. Day 2 was to start with a formidable Snowmass Super D. Stage 4 was set to be one of the longest and most physically demanding of the year. Chris Ball and I decided to check it out for ourselves.
So last year they shot off down here, Rick, on the bike park. Now they're taking a hard right.
Brandon's smiling a sort of knowing smile.
So this bit of trail is all about commitment and setup in these little turns and then high across these cameras all the way. Yeah, Rick! Woo. And again, this is going to change so much after 400 riders have been through here. In practice, maybe only get one run of this too. And I'm out of breath. Riding them up. 2,500 metres will do that. Do that up ahead. Oh, it's Rick! Yeah, Rick! Oh, bad line.
I can hear Baller behind me. Hands, arms, calves, thighs, everything burning.
Right, I want you to get your jib on now. We're going to hit some jumps.
Oh, he's jibbing already.
See if we can land on a manual off this guy. Woo-woo! Ha-ha! This is going to really hurt the lungs of the guys. Gonna step up here.
Brandon's behind me. He was predicting people would be going 30 mile an hour down here. This is the real deal. Oh, you have to come in right here.
And that sign means that's the finish, stage 4.
That done. One of the best bits of trail I've ridden, probably ever.
I was saying, you know, we're trying to find the best mountain biker in the world in this series. And stages like that just do the series proud. You're testing everything from physicality to bike handling, bike park, and just gnarly natural off camber.
It's everything that's good about riding bikes in there.
Just a little crash. It was more slippery than I expected.
Putting everything I have because it's last day, right? Don't need to leave much in the tank, so yeah, just pedal hard.
It's hard, man, because you feel the fatigue from yesterday and you want to push so hard, but you also got to pace yourself.
I was ready to vomit. I had a crash on the upper part. Small crash, I didn't lose too much time.
Tough stage to
kind of attack because it's so long again, so I tried to pace myself. I'm pretty happy with how the weekend's gone. Just got 2 more to go and see if we can get on the podium.
I felt better today than yesterday physically. I think I paced it well. I just tried to keep it smooth up top and sort of ramped it up towards the end. I think it went well.
The rocks at the top of 4 were to spell disaster for the leader, Richie Rood. A puncture almost straight out of the gate would send him tumbling down the rankings. It was to be Rood's ex-teammate and mentor, Jared Graves, who would claim the stage victory ahead of Hill and Mays. That result moved him up to 2nd in the overall, within a second off the lead. In the women's race, Cecile Ravenel again started the day relatively slowly, but still managed to take a 3rd place on the stage. Canada's Casey Brown built on an impressive day 1 to win the opener to solidify her 3rd place in the overall.
I'm really happy that's done. That was like a flat central. Besides the bottom bit, just more what I'm into. Just steep and tacky.
Hard to go faster with only one ride on it. Is it too flat as well on top?
I just went as quick as I can, considering the pressure. Samuel and Jared were all very close.
By now, Sam Hill could sense the pack closing in on him and promptly re-established his control in the race with a win on stage 5. He was wary of the fast technical test that was to come on stage 6, and his win on 5 would ensure that he would at least start it with a 7-second advantage. But that could potentially evaporate with just one mistake. Isabeau Couturier remained in 2nd spot after a 3rd place on the stage behind Lanfia Nadeau and Ravenel. Cecile headed into the brutal final stage with a lead of nearly 40 seconds.
I was feeling it for stage 6 and just wasn't really into it, so it's tough. For sure, I think like having that bit of confidence will help, because I know I'm fast, so I just need to put it together and feel confident again.
Championship leader Adrian Day fought back on stage 6 with an impressive win ahead of Jesse Melamed and Martin Mays. If he was going to have to concede his lead in the overall, then he was going to go down fighting. If Hill was riding cautiously, then it didn't show. The Australian rallied home to 12th on the stage, which would secure his 2nd career EWS victory. Martin Mays leapfrogged Jared Graves into 2nd, with Damien Otton and Jesse Melamed rounding out the top 5. In the women's race, Katie Winton took the win on 6, narrowly pipping Ravenel and Lanfia Nadeau. Cecile had won the race by a healthy 47 seconds from Isabeau Couturier. Casey Brown, in the meantime, was more than happy with a podium as the series moves to her home event in Whistler for the next round. Casey, 3rd place today. Must be quite happy how things went.
Yeah, super stoked on the 3rd place. It's good to be back racing enduro.
Do you think the stages here really suited you this weekend?
Yeah, in some ways they for sure were suited me because lift access, I mean, makes it a little easier on the body. I mean, all the other enduros this year have been really tough.
And as well, the women's racing is so close at the minute as well.
This year is really tight, and I mean, it's so good for the sport, you know, to have such tight results. And I hope it will be the same for the next 2 rounds.
Cecile, congratulations, another great victory. You must be very happy with how Aspen Snowmass went.
Yeah, I'm really happy, and now it's time for party.
It feels like you're all having a really good time as well.
Yeah, we are a great group, and we are a really good time, and I'm enjoyed to be a part of this group.
It's been a frustrating season for you in many ways. Does it feel a bit of vindication now to be back up there again?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you get on the podium, it always feels good. So things are getting tougher and tougher all the time, and I just hope we can have some more dry weather so we can really get after it and race. And it comes down to a few seconds at this race, and I think that just makes better racing. When it's tighter.
Happy with how you managed your speed throughout the weekend as well, because with some very, very long stages here this weekend.
Like a few years ago, it was a big struggle for me, the long stages, and it seems like it's improving a lot. In 2 weeks, Whistler, the long stage from top of the world is always very, very important.
Sam, congratulations, your second EWS win. Mission accomplished this weekend then?
Yeah, for sure. It's didn't know what to expect coming in with the altitude and the trails, so couldn't ask for anything better really.
You called it out from the first stage. You're really here to race Adrian in terms of the title. You must be over the moon with how that went.
Yeah, it's my season goal is to try and win this title, and we're sitting in a good position at the moment.
His win in Aspen Snowmass proffered Sam Hill the championship lead by just 40 points. It's the first time the former downhill world champion has led the series, and with just 2 rounds to go, it couldn't have come at a much better time. Former championship leader Irishman Greg Callahan will head to Whistler, seeking to close the points gap to Day and Hill. Cecile Ravenel stands atop the women's overall with a huge lead. Behind her, however, Katie Winton and Ines Toma are still locked together by the slimmest of margins. Isabeau Corderia has pulled herself back up the rankings impressively after that early season DNF. And despite a brace of mechanicals in Aspen Snowmass, IBA's Cycles Enduro race team still lead the team's championship. Rocky Mountain Urge BP and Canyon Factory Enduro team are in 2nd and 3rd respectively. So there we are then, round 6 of the 2017 Enduro World Series is in the books. Cecile Ravenel, imperious as ever, but the pack are getting closer and closer. In the men's race, the big news is Sam Hill is now leading the overall and is inching closer to what he's publicly calling one of his big goals of winning the championship. We've got 2 classics left, Whistler and then the big finale in finale. Hopefully they will be every bit as dramatic as the racing this weekend.
It's definitely more stressful when it's so close, so kind of what you train for.